Now I'm painting the shadows on this cup. I'm going to start on the left side again because I'm right-handed. And notice on where I'm starting. I'm starting with the darkest part of the shadow, that shadow core, because there's some reflected light going on here that's bouncing off of the teapot and off of the apple. So I'm going to start with the darkest area and lay down a patch for my shadow core, and then just start to fade that out to the left and to the right. And I start out with nice solid paint, but then I quickly water down my brush. I just dip my brush in my water a little bit so that I can just start putting down a glaze of my darker color just to kind of cover over the left hand side. I want some of that base color to show through, so I'm doing sort of a translucent shadow over top of this, at least initially to get started. And plus the water on my brush will help to take some of that paint that I laid down for the shadow core and sort of spread that around and blur the edges of that as well. So I'll go back into it. I'll keep building this up till it gets to the right value that I need. And then I'll come back in and blur it on the right side, moving towards the highlight side of the cup as well. Now as I move to the inside of the cup, the shadows on the inside, I'm going to start with the darkest part. That's where I'm going to need the paint the thickest. And you'll notice that this is where I clean up and redefine the rim of the cup as I paint back over my mistakes, if you will, or happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say, and kind of clean things up, use my detailed brush here and redefine those edges. So I'll clean that up and I'll make some more adjustments later on. And then I just start to fade that out as I move towards the left, towards the highlight side of the cup. Here now I'm just getting some excess paint off my brush. I want to get it nice and dry with hardly any paint on the brush, because I'm going to just do a very faint line right along the edge of the rim of the cup. I want to pull out, this is where I said I was going to kind of fix the edge of the rim. So I'm just very lightly pulling some very dry paint along that rim, just faintly, just enough so that rim stands out as separate from the inside of the cup. It doesn't take much. That's why I got rid of all the excess paint. And just a little bit of paint just to faintly pull that out. You can see how all of a sudden the rim emerges just by pulling that little bit of paint right there. Here now I'm going to begin working on bringing out some of the highlight along the rim of the cup. So I begin to brighten it up a little bit, make it a little bit lighter. I don't want to just slap a highlight on here, because the highlight won't make sense if the surrounding area is also not brighter. So I begin by just making the rim a little bit brighter, and doing the same thing on the front. And then after I make that a little bit brighter, or lighter I should say, then I'll come back in with some white or very light red color and put the highlight in. But like I said, you need to have that area brighten first, otherwise the highlight doesn't make any sense.